good one here tonight as Arkansas welcomes in number 14, Minnesota. I'm Matt Schick along with former all-everything for Arkansas, Pat Bradley. DJ Derrick is here, so is a guy who's dressed up as Santa. Everyone's in a holiday mood, and it should be a good one tonight because for the first time in 3 seasons, Bud Walton Arena is sold out for good reason. Jordan Murphy worth the price of admission.
There's no question. He is a walking double-double. He has given this Minnesota team everything they expected and more. He is going to match up against that front court of Arkansas. It's going to be tough because he can give it to you on the offensive rebounding end as well and defensively.
Murphy has a double-double in every game this season. Daniel Gafford does not, however. He's a true freshman getting his first start tonight, Pat.
You're going to love this kid. He runs like a deer, he jumps like a gazelle, and he's just getting better. The issue will be, can he bang with the big bodies of Minnesota and stay out of foul trouble so that he can play 40 minutes, 94 feet. He's going to show you how he does it tonight.
Looking forward to your other animal references throughout the broadcast. You've already used 2, and we're just 2 minutes in.
I stole that from his teammate, Trey Thompson.
You did. You did. We are set to go here at Bud Walton Arena. Your officials tonight, Pat Adams, Will Howard, Peter Jusanis. And we are about set to go. Again, this is an Arkansas team that is coming off that win against Colorado State, but before that, a puzzling loss against Houston, and for Minnesota, they took one on the chin against Nebraska in Lincoln. So you're going to learn a lot about each other tonight.
And learn about themselves as well. Both teams very good.
There's Daryl Macon. No good on the 3, and Reggie Lynch with the rebound for Minnesota. You notice a little size that Minnesota possesses. And again, when these two teams met a season ago, Minnesota blew them out back in Minneapolis, and all 5 starters are back, including Jordan Murphy, but he walks.
That's what the Hogs are hoping to do defensively. They want to speed up Minnesota enough to get out of control, to get them out of his comfort zone. Murphy got the ball where he likes it, right around that 10, 12-foot area. And he just lost his footing, lost his balance a little bit too much. Pressure got to him.
Seeing Dustin Thomas, number 13 with the ball. His first start, second start of the season, and the 3 ball is good from Jalen Barford. And the Razorbacks are on the board.
You see the Hogs start out showing a little bit of pressure, but then get back into a man-to-man half court.
Here's Lynch down low. That big body draws the foul. And again, he is going to be a load to deal with here tonight at Bud Walton Arena. There you see Richard Pitino in his 5th year at Minnesota. NIT championship in year 1. And then last year, got a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. Best seed the school has had in 35 years. He likes this group of players, including Lynch.
Well, there's no question. We talked earlier about how many guys he has back from last year's team. And you want to win a lot of games? You have guys that have some years in them. He's got redshirt seniors. He's got a bunch of juniors, 3, 4-year guys that knew what they did last year and are building on it this year.
Reggie Lynch hits both, 3-2 Razorbacks. See Arkansas move the ball quickly and work quickly, and there's Dustin Thomas. Again, got his first start of the season against Colorado State, and that will be Minnesota ball.
Hogs starting out in a man-to-man press now. We knew that they were going to show multiple defense. I didn't realize it was going to be this early. We've seen them go half-court man. They showed some zone full-court press last possession, and now they're just chest-to-chest going full-court press. 41.
And for Arkansas and Mike Anderson, the goal is to get to Minnesota's bench. They are very thin on the bench. Their starting 5 are terrific, but even Richard Pitino said today and this week he needs some more depth. He needs to get some meaningful minutes. It's just tough to do with such a tough schedule.
He's going to find out a lot about his bench tonight.
Lynch lowers the shoulder. Murphy collects. Murphy amongst the trees and has that ripped away by Beard. Here comes Barford to Thomas. The Razorbacks off and running, up 7-2.
and it's deflections under the rim. All 5 guys have got to get back. Defensive rebound, hands have to be very active.
Murphy off the glass and in. Again, a double-double every game so far this season. Here comes Thomas.
That's one thing the Hogs will do. Make them miss. They're going to get the ball out of the basket quick. Coach Anderson preaches that on a daily basis. Get out, run your lanes. If you can get ahead of the defense, you're going to find yourself being able to get some cheap baskets. They did at that time.
6 straight points for Dustin Thomas in his second start. We got an offensive foul. Reggie Lynch picking up the early foul. That is music to the ears of Mike Anderson in his 7th year as head coach of the Razorbacks. One of 4 current Division I coaches with 15 or more years of head coaching experience and no losing season.
All he does is win, and one of the best dressed coaches in the country. That's the misses, though. Picks it out for him.
He's getting no credit
for that.
Nice spin move, and there's the freshman. There is Daniel Gafford, and there is why you start him tonight.
It's his 2nd month playing college basketball, and he's going up against men that can push him around. He's been waiting for this challenge.
And there he is clapping his hands as he deals with the 6'10" Reggie Lynch. Here's Mason, the all Big Ten point guard with the floater.
That's a lot of great move, under control, soft touch going to the baseline. He had to shoot it over a 6'10" guy's arms.
The hot hand, Thomas. No good there. And here come the Gophers.
Legs getting a little tired. Need that timeout.
Mason in transition. He did that a bunch against Nebraska as well, hit a few threes. And there's his bucket. Nice feed from Thomas, and Barford in one.
That's the 3rd time Dustin Thomas has beaten Minnesota's defense down the floor. Coach Anderson talked to us about trust today, trusting teammates, and part of that is trust your teammates, throw it up to them. Trust that they can catch and make a play. Dustin Thomas has made 2 plays back-to-back. One he finished, and that time he dropped a nice pass to Barford, who, as a guard, is going to be able to finish with the best of them in the SEC overall plays.
And that is huge for Arkansas because Reggie Lynch is now on the bench with 2 early fouls. Against Nebraska, Jordan Murphy picked up 2 early fouls, changed the whole complexion of the game. And they go to their bench, and in for Lynch is number 41, Gaston Jeju, who averages 5 minutes a game. They did not want to go to the bench at the 5 spot that early, but Mason connects again.
He is so good, and a lot of people have talked about the Arkansas backcourt for good reason. But Minnesota's backcourt can match them shot for shot. Mason is under control, can pull up in transition, uses pick and rolls well. They got to get into his legs tonight.
There's Bailey. Baseline and a foul.
Arkansas early on making some shots, open shots. Adriel Bailey, known for his defensive energy, that time steps out. 15-foot jump shot, and it looks like the Hogs will get the ball back.
Welcome back to Bud Walton Arena, Arkansas with the lead over number 14, Minnesota, 15-11 here as we just reached the first timeout of this game. Matt Schick along with former Arkansas standout, Pat Bradley.
Long time ago.
Little soon before they hang your banner.
Yeah, right.
Arkansas, so far, so good. 7 of 9 shooting and getting a lot done in transition. It's going according to script so far.
There's no question. You got a couple things. First of all, the right guys are shooting, and they're getting open shots. Dustin Thomas has been able to beat the Minnesota defense down the floor, which Coach Anderson loves. We talked to him today about run and execute. There's no book with Coach Anderson. He is going to be, he's going to keep you off balance. He is going to be unexpected. What he does, he runs on makes, he runs on misses, and he's pushing his team to try to keep that pressure on Minnesota 40 minutes.
And a turnover there. Again, the last time these two teams met last year, Arkansas turned the ball over 21 times, but now got some more games under their belts from them. They were still breaking in some new players, including their 2 junior college transfer star guards.
Yeah, now they're back for year 2. What I was trying to spit out was unpredictable.
It's a long word, Pat.
That's what Coach Anderson talked to us about today. He wants to be unpredictable.
Chaotic was the word he used as well. And here they cause chaos on the defensive end. Making no look to Barford.
Active hands. This team knows what to do. When there's a turnover, when there's a missed shot, even a make like we talked about, run those lanes and look ahead, throw the ball up the floor.
Arkansas is going to make Minnesota work today.
Oh, man.
Mason between the legs of Murphy and McBrayer. But hits from long range.
But Mason getting the ball on time, on target, through a guy's legs, okay? Through a guy's legs. Tom Brady can't even make that pass.
Tom Brady on line one.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels is drawn up between the legs pass right now.
Oh, what a nice feed from Beard, but unable to finish was Adrio Bailey, who's coming off the bench for the second game in a row. There's Jeju, the senior, working on Thompson. Thompson with the block. And Barford will pull this one out.
Minnesota got it on the block, but not exactly probably the offensive possession they wanted.
Bailey off the glass. Nice feed from Macon.
Bailey gives you the versatility to guard a smaller guy, but he can finish with the bigs.
There's Coffey for three. And again, off every miss, off every make, Arkansas is going to try and push this as often as they can. Macon too strong off the top of the backboard, and Jeju collects.
Looks like a quick shot. Although if it's Darryl Macon, you'll take him when he gets a little bit of daylight.
Jordan Murphy with steps, his second traveling violation of the day.
And that's what the Hogs are going to try to do. He is so strong, and he knows where he wants to get to on the floor. He wants to get to that SEC logo where he's really comfortable, can put it, he's really good going to his right, 1-2 dribble. If they can throw guys at him, just throw waves of guys. Get your hand in the passing lane. You saw it's actually affected him the last few times he's had it there.
And Arkansas not afraid to go to the bench. Darius Hall, great freshman, now in the game, as is number 23, C.J. Jones, who has been hot the last 5 games. Beard for three.
That's one of those, if he didn't make that, we might be seeing a substitution right now.
We call that one on Darius Hall, the freshman, with his foul. And again, here's Beard over the length.
Sometimes you just fail it, and he just caught it in rhythm. He was looking for an opening, but you saw right there, he had 1-2 dribbles to see the basket. And you see that daylight, you're on balance, he let it fly.
Arkansas 10 of 14 shooting. They've already made more field goals in this half than they did the first half last year against Minnesota.
It's nice sometimes playing at home, and the game's a lot easier when you make shots.
Beard being measured up by Devontae Fitzgerald. Here's Jones. He's hot.
He has been hot. He's a guy, Mr. Trigger Man. No conscience.
C.J. Jones had 13 threes in his last 4 games. Now he's got 14 threes in his last 5. Here's C.J.
Well, that's a kid where he gets on balance. Look, you're too far away from him. You got to be up. You've got to be one pass away. You cannot even let him catch it, because the second he catches it, he's got great balance and a quick release. He can shoot 3-4 feet behind the line. So defensively, I think that was Mason. He's got to understand that this kid is going to pull it from anywhere. You got to get up on him, make him go on, put it on the floor. C.J.
Jones has set or tied career highs in points in 3 of the last 4 games, averaging 15 a game in those last 4 games. A couple of 19-point outings. He has been terrific. Coach saying he's just picked up his confidence, knows what he's doing defensively, and obviously knows what he's doing offensively. Monday, the SEC Nation team will have complete breakdown of where our SEC teams have landed in each bowl. The most wonderful time of the year. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app.
Although Santa's here, I don't know what's going on. He must be all set making all those toys.
I guess his beard had some Pepsi in it earlier. We'll see how Minnesota regroups.
This right here is going to be key for Arkansas, is the ability to defend Mason coming off of those ball screens, because he can pull up and shoot it. He can split the double team, and he can find guys.
11-point lead for Arkansas. Murphy may need to take things into his own hands, and there gets a tip in off his own miss. Jordan Murphy, 10 consecutive double-doubles. Got his final double-double in the last game, in the final minute of the game, with a putback dunk.
He does such a good job, though. You see how he missed that shot and still followed his own rebound. He knows that that's where his advantage is going to be.
Darius Hall, high off the glass. Played a season-high 18 minutes in their last game against Colorado State. I know he's a young player. You like.
Young guy, but he comes in with great defensive energy. Offensively, whatever he gives you is a plus.
Jones draws the foul there from the drive on Mason, but so far it has been all Arkansas. 12 of 16 from the floor. They're up 11. Welcome back to Bud Walton Arena. Arkansas with a 27-16 lead so far. And Arkansas getting help from everybody right now. 7 players in the scoring column at the under 12 for the Razorbacks.
They're just getting the right kind of shots. That's what they're doing, getting the right kind of shots. They are able to get out ahead of the defense, run Minnesota's defense, and then what does that happen? Sort of loosens things up in the half court. Barford starts out the game with a pretty good look. You got to get your hand up. He's a guy that can shoot it. He'll go by you, but you got to respect his jump shot. Something we know what the Hogs do, active hands, deflections, and then they know exactly what to do with it. Very few teams can get up the floor as fast as they do off of the transition. 8 fast break points so far for Arkansas, 9 bench points for Arkansas. Jalen Barford, perfect 3 of 3 from the floor. Second in the SEC in scoring so far this season. And both he and Daryl Macon contemplated getting into the NBA draft. They did, but then pulled out last summer on back-to-back days. That had to be quite a delight for Mike Anderson when they decided to come back. You know what's funny, though? If you have the opportunity to go to an NBA team, a scout, a GM, a coach, and say, hey, can you tell me about my game?
I've done that. It's a great opportunity. You have to do it.
Do you think they got the same feedback as you did when you talked to them?
Still waiting for the feedback. Still waiting. There's Isaiah Washington, gets the roll, and he is a true freshman as well out of Harlem.
Good young player.
Mr. Basketball in the state of New York as a senior in high school. A much-needed hoop for the Gophers.
Throw this zone on Arkansas, and a lot of what the Hogs do offensively doesn't change that much, zone on man. It's all about motion, attacking the gaps. Right there, I'd like to see them go north and south as opposed to get that ball going side to side. Someone's got to get it in the weak spot of the zone, which is talking short corner, you're talking free throw line area.
That one tipped out, will belong to Minnesota. Orlando Cook checking in. His second game back, reinstated to the team a week ago. Had 4 rebounds, couple assists in his first game of the year against Colorado State earlier in the week.
He should have a lot of basketball in him right now after having to sit out like he did. So he'll get back to where he was mid-season form here pretty soon.
And a foul away from the ball. And that's team foul number 4 for Arkansas, and that is on Darius Hall, the true freshman. That is his second. He will go to the bench, and here comes Macon.
Something I always look at is the assist to turnover ratio, and with this Arkansas team is a direct correlation with how they're playing, how they're shooting the ball. 9 assists to 1 turnover right now. They're sharing the ball, getting open shots, getting it to the right guys.
Oh, they wanted Cylinder. They're not going to get it. Murphy gets the rebound put back. And Minnesota has cut that lead to 7. Again, it's going to be all about offensive boards. Murphy gets about 5, better than 5 offensive rebounds a game. The glass going to be critical in this one. There's Jones.
There you go. Daryl Macon, that just that one dribble into the gap, draws 2 guys, kicks it to his trigger man, C.J. Jones. No hesitation on Jones when he shoots it.
Jones with his second three of the early going. There's Fitzgerald from long range. That's probably not his shot. And that'll stay Minnesota ball. Again, C.J. Jones, Father Chad played at UAB, had a connection there with Mike Anderson, and there's the connection from long range.
Hey, listen, as a shooter, you got to know where you can get your shots. You got to know when to get your shots. And Daryl Macon does just about everything for this team, so he realizes getting that gap, draw two, and then kick.
There's Washington. Gafford battling for the rebound and outstretches Murphy for it. Jones again.
This kid has all the tools. He showed it last year. It was just him getting to the point where he could transition to it in the game.
And the answer from Isaiah Washington. He'll go for a three-point play of his own, but again, in transition, three in the corner. There you see CJ.
That's textbook right there for Mike Anderson's teams. Run the lane on one side and then come underneath the basket. Defense loses you. You're wide open on the other corner. That right there is exactly how Mike Anderson wants his shooters to run in transition.
Devontae Fitzgerald taking a seat. SEC fans may recognize him. Played for Texas A&M a few years ago.
Think it had anything to do with that three he took?
Perhaps. Sort of. Might not be his shot. That's Macon's shot. Looked like he got hit as he let that one go. No call. And here comes Minnesota. Murphy. Dupree, McBrayer. Little too strong. Macon collects. Arkansas going to push. Open three. Jones again. And there's Gafford inside drawing the foul. They're on Gaston Jeju. And Gafford now doing some of that dirty work. We know he can dunk. We know he's very athletic and can run up and down the floor. The question was, how would he deal with big bodies down low?
He's doing a great job. He's accepting the challenge, being physical. Because a lot of times, all he's got to do is keep the ball alive in that offensive end. It's not always going to be catch it off the rim and dunk it. It's not always going to be catch it and put it back in. Just keep it alive, get the offense, another possession.
Arkansas fans wanted a shooting foul, saying it was over the back on a putback. They're not going to get that one.
Oh, that's what he was doing, was sort of just putting it back. I didn't see him try to bring it down to the floor.
Barford guarded by McBrayer. There's Coffey with the rebound.
Hard denied by the Hogs on that wing. Just disrupts the Minnesota's offense.
Coffey, nice move around Jones, but that one rims out. See if Arkansas pushes here.
They've been able to force tough shots from Minnesota. A lot of deep threes, guys having to shoot the ball maybe in uncomfortable positions. You saw Coffey right there.
Here's Gafford. Another dunk.
What I tell you, kick and glide, Andy. He knows how to finish. I love him because he tries to dunk everything.
That shot no good, and we're going to have a foul under the hoop. You're looking at Gafford. Gafford with his 19th dunk of the season.
Well, we talked about the young fella, just how smart he is, slips the screen, how agile, one side step, and then when he gets up there, he knows exactly how to finish.
The 33rd head coach in Arkansas history was introduced. They had a hog call. You could have said anything at that point, Chad, and they would have loved to join us now here on SEC Network. And we always talk about fit, right? Coaches, that's the cliche term now. What makes you the right fit here for Arkansas and vice versa?
Well, I think anytime you have a job, job openings across the country, you always look at timing and fit. And the timing is so right for this opportunity to take place. The hungry fan base is so passionate. And the fit, from where the recruiting standpoint, everything in this program is about recruiting and retaining. And the recruiting footprint with a hill mark being in the state of Arkansas and all the way down and take the rest of the footprint all the way into Texas, incredible.
Coach, I don't know how much you've gotten a chance to watch this basketball game so far, but Mike Anderson likes to get up and down the lanes fast. And I know you want to go hashtag hammer down, hashtag fast lane.
I'm telling you, it's all about being Razorback fast now. I love it. I love it. I love the brand of football that we play. It matches right here with our basketball game.
There are going to be a lot of fans that have sore necks watching the basketball and football teams back to back.
That's foul on Daniel Gafford there again. The true freshman. You mentioned the fans here in Arkansas kind of starving for something. Haven't had a double, haven't had one more than 8 games in a year in about 6 years here. You compete in such a tough division. It's a grind week in and week out. What do you think you can do here in this division with Arkansas?
Well, I think first of all, you got to recruit the caliber of players that are going to come in here and make a difference. And it's all about, again, as any job change, it's all about fit. Well, it's all about getting the right caliber of player in here that plays our style of football. And to be able to come in and compete in the best conference and the best division in all of college football is so exciting. I see it as an opportunity for these young men.
There's Gafford with another bucket.
Coach, I heard your press conference, of course, and somebody had asked for you to describe your offense, and you had then went into some kind of technical terms. You know, 2 backs, 1 back, and it's something that I almost got the sense that you're going to do, and you've got so many answers, whatever the defense throws at you.
Yeah, the biggest thing I would say is very creative. Our offense is very creative. Everybody runs a power in the inside zone and outside zone, but there's many different ways to do that. And the different window dressings from different sets, from being exotic in some of your formations that we do, motioning in and out of structures.
Gafford, again, you're a professional broadcaster. Bucket goes in. You stop talking. Let the announcers do everything. That's very nice of you. You don't have to do that. As Gafford, the true freshman, gets another bucket here for Arkansas.
Coach, have you had a lot of experience with your guys that you recruit, multi-sport guys, and I know a lot of coaches do appreciate what each sport gives, the agility of basketball, the physicality of football. Is that something you look at in your recruits?
You know, when I first got into coaching, I was a head basketball coach. Absolutely.
Come on.
I was a head basketball coach in Eustis, Texas, and took our team to regional finals, and matter of fact, one of the first All-Americans I've had.
It's Anton Beard with the bucket, the senior out of North Little Rock High School with the bucket.
I'm hanging on the edge of my seat, Coach.
But really, you know, the thing is that you love recruiting multi-sport players. And I love basketball, grew up coaching basketball, love it. When you can go into high school and recruit multi-sport players, they're coached by different people, and the different styles of coaching change.
Different experiences,
absolutely,
and different challenges that they've seen on the court.
They're able to be coachable. That's the big thing. They're coachable.
It's like a foul on Beard there as Amir Coffey going to go to the line. We have seen the acceleration of coaching changes. And in part, you've got to think it's because of the early signing period. I mean, December 20th, 21st, 22nd, when kids can sign in December. We've only got about a week here to get this going, a couple weeks, week and a half or so. What is that like as you try now and flip the script and sell folks on Arkansas after leaving SMU?
Well, you know what? It's the relationships that we've developed and built in the state of Texas, and obviously my recruiting into Arkansas when I was at Tulsa, and even at Clemson coming out here and recruiting. That's really kind of given us an advantage right now. The ability to come in and sign a class when you don't have your staff fully intact. You know, what we do have is we got a bunch of coaches out on the road right now putting those logos in all these games across the.
There's Barford. Continue.
They're probably playing defensive backfield somewhere, Coach.
Yeah, no kidding. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. Maybe a couple defensive ends out here too now.
Turnover from Murphy. Here comes Beard. It's a 2-on-1. Beard turns that one over. Nice play there from Mason. Here's Coffey at the other end. And one.
Boy, it can change quickly.
It can. But you know what? The biggest thing right now is getting that logo out. We had in the state of Texas right now, there's still 2 weeks left. And so we had guys all over the state last night and even today watching these high school games and already reaching out to the contacts of the committed kids that have been committed here So it's been good, and we'll see how this thing unfolds.
Coach, a lot of Mike Anderson, what he does is preach defense. Defense, get up and run. 40 minutes, 94 feet. You ready to make an announcement on the defensive side of the football? Are we breaking news here?
Not yet. No. I can't do that just yet.
A hint?
No hint right now.
All right.
Outside of it's going to be a great fit. And someone that's going to be innovative just like what we are offensively.
How about Gafford off the glass? He is in double-digit points right now here in this first half. And the freshman, Pat, showing why he should start.
Man, this kid just gets better, Coach. Every time he steps on the floor, practice, game, he's willing. He wants to be better, and he wants the challenges. He's going up against two huge bodies right now, and he's answering the call.
Well, the thing about him is the more he gets into this, the more he makes everybody around him better because of the way he comes out here and plays.
But that's it. You hit the nail on the head because he does so many things that help teammates. That really you don't realize it, and then until he's not on the floor.
That's right.
9-point lead now for Arkansas. Nice pass to Bailey. Can't get that one to go. Murphy with another rebound. Murphy closing in on another double-double. That one blocked from behind from Gafford, but it's going to be a foul on the floor from Bailey. Well, Coach, we know we're probably keeping you from recruiting right now. Time is of the essence. Appreciate you being with us. Congratulations on the new job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm heading to a home visit right now.
Fuel up the chopper, baby.
Hey, we're ready to go. Got a Red Bull and ready to roll. Take care. Thank you, guys.
Chad Morris, head coach of Arkansas basketball team, not doing too shabby as well. Back after this.
Antoine Walker, Jimmy Dykes, Peter Burns at half will talk to you about the Gators trying to stop their losing streak. South Carolina, great game. But Antoine, what are we seeing down at Bud Walton Arena right now?
The pace. This is Arkansas's playing at a very high pace. Yeah. You got to love it and really forcing Minnesota over.
Yeah, Arkansas puts immediate pressure on your defense, and Minnesota wasn't ready for it to start the game.
Back to Matt and Pat.
Thank you, PB. Here with another PB. Pat Bradley here at Bud Walton Arena. Arkansas with that 9-point lead against number 14, Minnesota. And you look at some of the stats here right now. Minnesota has gotten to the free throw line, 7 of 8 from the charity stripe. Arkansas 0 for 1 here, and they've got 10 team fouls. So that is something that it looked like early on. Reggie Lynch picks up his second foul. He hasn't been on the floor in the better part of 12, 13 minutes here, but they've withstood it so far.
We talked about what's going to give. Something has got to give. Two teams that are familiar with each other, and both teams have had some bumps this year. Not many, but some bumps. I look at Arkansas shooting 69% from the floor. Are you kidding me? 20 of 20, 69% from the floor. And how about this? You mentioned just 10 team fouls, 15 assists and 2 turnovers. Think of it, now that shows right there, that stat. Not only are they sharing the ball, okay, but the right guys are taking the right shots. And if you listen, a good shooter becomes a great shooter with a great pass. And that's what they're doing. They're sharing the ball, and Minnesota is just on their heels now.
And Jordan Murphy misses a couple of free throws there. See if Arkansas can take advantage. You mentioned it. You jinxed them about the turnovers. Again, 21 last year. Now just their 3rd turnover here in the first 16 minutes of action.
Little miscommunication there defensively by Minnesota. And the speed and of everything, I think, is certainly getting to Minnesota early in this game. They may be able to regroup at halftime.
3.5 minutes to go. 9-point lead here for Arkansas. Gafford now on the bench for the Razorbacks after a perfect 5-for-5 start. Murphy looking for a cutter, and that one goes out of bounds.
That was a good job by Minnesota. They had a lot of movement there, and they got the ball where they wanted to mismatch. They had C.J. Jones on Murphy on that switch. Trey Thompson comes over, double teams him, gets a deflection.
5 on the shot clock. Mason to McBrayer for 3.
Again, who initiated that? Mason. Does a great job of getting in the lane, drawing a couple guys and kicking. He's done that a few times tonight.
And that's 4 assists for Mason here in the early going. And that'll be a foul on Fitzgerald. Again, with that foul trouble, getting some extended minutes. Fitzgerald, but a nice pass from Mason to the corner.
That's it, just miscommunication defensively. Bailey or Barford, who's going to get the ball? That gives him that step to get in the lane. And then once he gets that step, on time, on target again to a shooter.
10 team fouls for Arkansas, 5 for Minnesota. Bailey too strong off the baseline, and now Minnesota's got numbers. 3 on 2. McBrayer gonna have to push this one out. Lynch getting harassed by a couple of Razorbacks, and that'll stay Minnesota ball.
Just a great job by Minnesota in that secondary break. They want to play fast, but under control. But it was a better job of Arkansas competing on the defensive glass. They just want to compete to have a chance to pull this out.
Mason just lost that one, but he's going to get a foul call. And that is going to be on, I believe, Bailey. Coming up next, we'll take you out to Columbia for Missouri, taking on Green Bay. It's right here on the SEC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app. Of course, Mike Anderson, coach at Missouri. That's what we call a tie-in.
I like it.
You taking notes, Pat?
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
I'm recording this. I gotta go watch this. Yeah. You see Mason miss a free throw there, and Coach Anderson, what he wants to do, wants to wear guys down. 40 minutes. There's going to be a breaking point. That's what he preaches. At some point in this game, there'll be a breaking point. Mason has got a lot to handle in this game. He is distributing the ball. He's scoring the ball. And defensively, he's matching up against these active Arkansas guards.
Yeah, Minnesota's had to go to the bench a little bit earlier than they anticipated, but right now on a 9-2 run with 2 minutes and change here in the first half. Very high-scoring game. Here's Cook. That'll be a foul on the floor before the shot.
And that's what he can give you. He can give you a face-up guy. He's agile enough to be able to put it on the floor and get by a bigger guy. But he's got to get that fight back. You know, this is the second game back. He's got to get that fight, scratch, claw, that dog back in him. Be able to compete on both ends. You know, right now the Hogs are getting beat down a little bit on the boards, but they're able to compete because of how well they're sharing the ball and running off of makes and misses.
So Devontae Fitzgerald takes a seat with 2 fouls, and in comes Gaston Jeju, the senior, with 2 fouls as well. And now a turnover for Arkansas. So again, despite the foul trouble for some of the bigs for Minnesota, Arkansas doing them some favors here.
There's no question. That was, I think, the 3rd time it was a pass into the post. Now that's an art. To be able to understand how to pass into the post and get it to the big guy where he can catch it. For some guys, they just don't understand how to create a passing lane to get it to the big guy down low.
And Daniel Gafford coming back in, replacing Thompson. And for Gafford, again, foul trouble has been an issue. He's picked up 4 or more fouls in 5 games this year, but just 1 foul, and he's getting his first start tonight. Coach Anderson has to love what he's seen from him.
That was going to be like his first, throughout the season, he's going to have a lot of tests and challenges, but that certainly was a big one.
Murphy working on Gafford. Collects the rebound. Reset shot clock. Crowd wanted to travel. Instead, they get an air ball, and here comes Arkansas. Beard. Gafford on the follow and the foul.
Wow, no fear from the young fella. That's what I like to see the most is his ability. He's so long, he's so athletic, we know that. But it's his desire to go after every missed shot. And you see the timing. He's going to have to take a shot here. He knows he's going to get hit. May get hit in the chops. But he's willing to take that, finish. And he does have a nice stroke from the free throw line there. I was hesitant to say it before you shot it.
We would have blamed you before as a foul. There on the drive from McBrayer. Getting back to Gafford. He's got that 7'2" wingspan. Earlier this year against Fresno State, had 25 points against Fresno State. And after that game, it was head coach Rodney Terry of Fresno State that said he needs to go to the NBA right now. I probably wish you could have hopped in a DeLorean and, maybe said that before the game. But 25 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals in that game. First Razorback in 22 years to have that off the bench.
He does so many things, and it's funny how Coach Morris picked up on it so fast. He's sees everything through the eyes of a coach, but he makes the game easier for everybody on the offensive end and the defensive end. That's why you appreciate when he's on the floor.
Minnesota now just 8 of 14, 57% from the free throw line here in this game. Beard gets the roll for the Razorbacks.
Strong move by the senior. He's a guy that's had some big-time moments in that Razorback uniform.
Less than a minute to go. Murphy was working on Thompson. C.J. Jones tried to knock it loose, and they called a foul on C.J. Jones. That's his second.
Out of position, reaching. You want to have active hands, but you don't want to bail him out. Just wasn't in position to make that. Like to see the activity.
So right now, for Arkansas, Hall, Thomas, Gafford, Bailey, and Jones each have 2 fouls.
Well, you look at this game and you look up, and Minnesota's they're right there. They're right there in striking distance, and it's because they got to the free throw line. Right now, they're looking at 10 of 15. So you get 10 points from the free throw line. You're able to get second chance opportunities. We know how well they hit the glass to give that offense more shots.
There's Reggie Lynch again, has sat the most of this first half.
And oh yeah, you got him on that. Just waiting to explode in the second half.
Jordan Murphy, if you're wondering about the double-double machine, he's had a double-double in every game so far this season. He's got 12 points and 7 rebounds here in this first half.
I'm going to say he's going to get another double-double by the end of the night.
We'll play this back if you're wrong. Beard with 5 seconds to go draws the foul on Mason. Mason wanted a jump ball, but he's not going to get that. Foul, less than 5 seconds to go. Go to the line.
Spread them out. Anton Baird, senior, knows at the end of the half we're trying to get in the lane. And he's a strong ball handler. He can get in you. He likes to dip that shoulder, especially he's a lefty, but he likes to dip that left shoulder in and then sort of hang in the air a little bit. He's able to take the hit, get to the free throw line.
You thought you might see a game like this. Both teams averaging 87 points a game, top 25 nationally in scoring offense. Here coming into this game, and Arkansas has hit half 100 already.
Everything's clicking for him.
3 seconds left. Washington, can he get it off? Even if he did, it's off the side of the backboard. Arkansas with a 50-42 lead. You wanted an up-tempo non-conference game at Bud Walton Arena? You got it. Let's get back to Peter Burns now in our SEC studio. Peter, it's all yours.
Thank you, Matt Schick. Well, when you shoot 67% from the field, you should probably be leading in those games. Antoine Walker, Jimmy Dykes, Peter Burns alongside with you. Hi, hello. Impressive first half. That was probably exactly what Coach Anderson kind of scripted, right?
It was, and Daniel Gafford with 12 points in 11 minutes. He was able to stay out of foul trouble. Again, Arkansas, they put so much pressure on you defensively after you shoot the basketball. They run it right down your backside. And Minnesota, they weren't ready for it the first 4 or 5 minutes and found themselves 10 points down right off the bat.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of sharing the basketball. If you told me they'd be up 8 points, score 50 points with Daryl Macon not having a basket,
Yeah.
I never would have thought that. Thought he would have to have a big night offensively, but he does have 7 assists. But they're just sharing the basketball. 15 assists on 4 turnovers. Just a great team effort. I love the energy. This is what we thought we will see from Arkansas. The energy has been great, and it's a great atmosphere right now.
I was going to say, Bud Walton Arena is always good. Arkansas 18-9 versus top 15 teams in Bud Walton Arena, hoping to make it 19. Other games going on right now. Late first half, Gators up 3 against Cincinnati. Remember, they've lost 3 in a row. Igor Kulichov for 3. Florida going to be up 6. And then how about this? Nails it. That's someone you want to have.
Well, watching the game, it looks like Florida is tired of hearing the last 48 hours that they are soft.
Let's talk about how they were soft.
About us, that they've been soft because they've gone blow for blow with the team Cincinnati that likes to knock you in the nose. The problem for Florida in this game right now, Cincinnati will be in the bonus the entire last 12 or 13 minutes of the ball game.
How about Jalen Hudson? That will play a major role right now. Florida, though, Antoine up 2 on Cincy.
Finally playing some defense.
Finally, Star Wars gets a little credit, right? No one ever talks about that. Great movie.
Probably for a reason.
How about this? Right there, less than 10 seconds to play. Hassani Gravett. Not bad.
I just love this kid's toughness and his will to win. I mean, he takes a tough 2 against hard defense and makes it go down.
Then Chanticleer's had a chance. Antoine, it's another tough W for Frank Martin's squad.
You'll take it.
Yeah, right. Put it in there. Tennessee taking on Lipscomb, and you've been talking about it, Antoine. You love Grant Williams and his play, and he showed you moves like this.
Yeah, it reminded me of a guy I played against in the SEC at Arkansas, Corliss Williamson, kind of the same type of body type, but was very dominant in the inside from the mid-post area. He reminds me of Big Nasty.
Big Nasty. Corliss Williams. I think those guys know who that is, right?
Yeah, Corliss was a mismatch, and this kid's a mismatch as well. Tennessee really moved the ball today well. 21 assists on 24 makes. I love Tennessee. I think their team, when it's all said and done, is going to be in the top 4 of that SEC race.
Well, and they were picked, what, in the bottom 4,
13.
Right?
There's some bad guessing going on early.
Media be wrong? That never happens, especially here on the SEC. How about this? You just got to pass the ball, get it, move it around. Finally, where's Gafford? Where's Gafford? Get it to him. Get it to the big man. That's a high percentage shot. Arkansas up 8 at half. Welcome back to SEC Halftime Report. Peter Burns, Jimmy Dykes, Antoine Walker, Snow, Madison Square Garden, Kentucky. What else am I missing here? Juan, anybody? The little Kentucky defense?
6 straight layups.
We're missing a dunk.
Still missing the dunk.
No matter how many times you see this highlight, the guy's still going to lay it up. Just want to let you know.
Madison Square Garden. You got to get a dunk right there.
How about this little defense and Hamidou Diallo off? Call bank. I heard it. Kentucky up 12 at this point. PJ Washington just long, lean, and mean down low.
And lighter. He's lost 15 pounds in the last 17 days. He doesn't have the flu. It's on purpose. And his explosiveness was as good as I've seen it all year. Kentucky really good today, guys, in their big zone. They also made 7 threes. Kentucky getting better every time they come out, Antoine.
Right there, 93-76. And how about Auburn playing without Mustafa Heron? We're hosting in-state rival UAB. Bryce Brown going coast to coast. Brown 23 in the first half. Auburn up 7. We go in the second. And UAB, though, not going away. UAB's Jalen Berry. Perry knocks down to 3, 1-point game, and under a minute left to play. We knew these two teams played each other tight.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a really, really good game, but this is a solid win by Auburn. They fought off a good UAB team.
Their 8th victory of the season, 85-80 for Coach Pearl's squad. Right now, Minnesota has a guy named Nate Mason, and he can light up the scoreboard. He's 4 of 6 for 11 points, but it's not enough. Hogs up 8 at half. Mississippi State taking on North Georgia. First time I've ever done a North Georgia highlight, boys. This is, how about Coach Moorhead? Just chilling, relaxing, whatever. I'm the coach. This is how I do things, right? Kind of cool. Q Weatherspoon, that's how he does things. Takes it for 3. Dogs up 61-32. Nick Weatherspoon connects with Q Weatherspoon for another 3.
Now, it's a Mississippi State team that's undefeated. They haven't played the toughest schedule, but the emergence of Tyson Carter to go along with Weatherspoon, that's a good offensive team. You know they're going to defend under Howell.
Aggies coming off their first loss of the year, kind of playing with their food, Antoine Walker and Prairie View A&M game.
Yeah, turned the basketball early, playing down to their level of competition. Took a while for them to get going, but finally got it going on the defensive end. Both the big guys really dominated inside. Both of them had 4 blocks apiece, and a solid win for Texas A&M.
Later, Aggies on that run. TJ Starks drives it. Nice cut. Tops off an 18-0 run. They would beat Prairie View A&M 73-53. Ole Miss down 10 to Middle Tennessee, and this is a tough game for Coach Kennedy. That'd be a huge win if they can get it. And Brian Tyree misses the 3, but Terrence Davis flies in for the tip-in. 8-point game. Just under 3 minutes to play. We head. Yes, it is a Facebook live stream, but we can still bring it to you. 9-point game. Nick King gets it a lane. Just too much. 77-58. You know what's not too much? Would be this. This happened at halftime. You think they're showing this at Big Ten Network? No. Pac-12 Network? No.
Let's call those
It
dogs.
just means more. Second half coming up after the break.
Me and
That's
Eli
awesome.
going to work when I get
Arkansas,
home. Come on,
buddy.
Eli, watch that highlight, buddy.
Let's go.
We did not think anything could top that first half, and then we saw the halftime show. I mean, that Chihuahua is so underpaid, it's ridiculous.
He's coachable. Or she.
Very
coachable
she.
Chihuahua right there.
Arkansas halfway to 150-42. Matt Chick along with Pat Bradley, the man who has the most uncontrollable pocket square you've ever seen in your life.
It's ready for action.
The last time these two teams met, Arkansas hit 26 field goals.
Yeah.
They hit 22 here in the first half, and Daniel Gafford in his first start as a freshman, perfect, 6 of 6 from the floor.
He just makes the game so much easier for everybody because offensively what he does is get his team extra shots. He's a really good passer. You can trust him when you throw it to him in the block so you can get it out to shooters. On the defensive end, if he's not blocking a shot, he's altering a shot. He's long. He can contain ball handlers as well. He just makes the game easier for the entire team.
So much movement as well. 15 assists, just 4 turnovers for the Razorbacks.
Well, a lot of it has to do with how their motion offense works. I like to call it equal opportunity, but better yet, Coach Hansen talked about trust. Dustin Thomas sprints ahead of 5 defenders. Daryl Macon recognizes it, gets it up to him right here. Daryl Macon so devastating coming off the screen to shoot the 3, but what does he do? Gets his agile youngster sliding over to the middle for a dunk. Right there again, Arkansas trusting, getting the ball up the floor. C.J. Jones understands as a shooter, sprint down the floor. My guys Barford, my guys Macon, they're gonna find me as long as I know how to find the open spot on the floor.
How about the fact, and the guys mentioned it as we went to the half back in the studio, Daryl Macon has not scored in this game, and Arkansas has an 8-point lead.
Well, I think that's what makes Arkansas's backcourt one of the best in the SEC, certainly, and one of the best in the country.
Reggie Lynch sat for most of the first half with 2 fouls, and within 16 seconds, he picks up a foul.
But Matt, how about the young fella, Gafford? Okay, we talked all this time. When is he going to understand how to get from high school to college in terms of understanding how to defend the right way? That's his second charge taken this year. He's learning, and we're watching it now. He's gotten better since the first half. Come on now.
Yes. We talked to Mike Anderson today. He said it's all about reps. And look at that spin move from Gafford. Nice dish, extra pass. Good recovery from Minnesota.
But again, Gafford under control. He drew 2-3 guys under the basket. If that was a shooter in the corner, that'd have been 3.
There's Murphy, 2 rebounds shy of another double-double, and there he's got 2 more points. He's got 14 here in the game.
That's classic Murphy right there. Strong, knows where he wants to get. He's strong enough to get where he wants to on the floor. 1-2 dribbles one way to the right, 1-2 to the left, and then just pull up right in front, right in that SEC logo area.
It was a couple years ago as Lynch heads to the bench with 3 fouls, where Minnesota had such a rough season, 8-23, and Murphy met with Richard Pitino, and he wasn't considering transferring, but there was a lot of uncertainty. Pitino said, look, we got some guys coming back. You coming back, you're going to be good. And what do they wind up doing? Getting the 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. Big Ten Coach of the Year, Richard Pitino.
And that's part of coaching. Listen, there is coaching where the recruiting side of it. There is on the sidelines game time. And then there's stuff that happens in practice and off the floor where you've got to relate to these guys and show them the direction and the vision that you have. And talking to him this morning, he's got a lot of direction and vision, my man.
He does. He's a fun chat. Nice bucket there. And Macon is on the board for this game.
Not going to keep that guy down from the scorer's column, that's for sure.
Lost in the shuffle was Murphy's second foul. And Gafford looked like he had a clean block. I think there are about 15,000 who would agree with that sentiment.
But what I love too, look, if he's not getting the first one, he's affecting how the move is made. A lot of times, you're just going up to finish it at the rim. You know Gafford's there, okay? Now, you can say whether, I'm not going to get on stripes here, okay? I'll let you do that. You're friends with these guys.
I'll let you do that during the break.
Okay. But you just see, and I know we're drooling over this kid, and I'm not the only one, as I just bumped into an NBA scout in the bathroom, by the way. And I said, Coach, we're trying to keep, they want to keep this kid on campus as long as possible. He's maybe 2 years. He said, yeah, good luck with that. So there's a lot of people who see how Gafford is progressing quickly, too.
And he sits on the bench with those 3 fouls. So we'll see what Minnesota can do. But they're big. Reggie Lynch also on the bench with 3 fouls. Macon trying to make up for lost time, but it's Israel Bailey cleaning up the mess.
That's what he can give you: energy, activity on the offensive glass, versatile defensively as well.
Coffee with the dish. Jeju draws the foul. And hundreds of fans making, no, that's not the locomotion dance. That is a traveling violation signal that they are offering to Stripes.
15,000 can't be wrong, can they?
That's the Elvis fans. Jeju, very raw. Again, hope to just give him a few minutes tonight.
That's it. I think Coach Pitino knew that he'd have to go to Jeju at some point. Maybe not so early because of the foul trouble with Lynch. And you see, you want to develop your bench. A lot of times doing it on the road in a tough non-conference game, it will happen. You're going to learn a lot of things from your team from this game. Both teams will.
Jeju had 6 points all season coming in. He's got 4 here tonight so far and some extended minutes. Thompson, he can hit that shot. Proves me wrong. And here comes Minnesota. They got some numbers. And that pass is tipped away, and now Arkansas numbers the other way. Macon going to back this one out.
It's a good decision. Coach Anderson talked about run and execute. It's not run and gun. They can run and then pull it out and execute.
Nice deflection from McBrayer. Here's Coffee throwing it down with 2 hands.
Great job. We know Minnesota. We talk about their bigs, but they've got guards that can get up and down the floor with anybody.
That's a foul. That should be on Coffee, the man who threw that one down. He's 6'8". He can score. Son of former Gopher, former NBA player Richard Coffey's got the bloodlines, and here he had the baseline.
Oh, there's no question. He had the baseline before he caught the ball. It was about how good of a job he did at getting out in transition, getting to the spot on the floor where the defense was weak, didn't get back. One dribble finish.
Coffey hanging in the air. Denied the foul, but Thompson collects, cutting Beard off the glass. And
not how you brought up, but that's how you finish.
Back to an 8-point lead for Arkansas. They had an 8-point lead at the break. Gafford is on the bench for the Razorbacks with 3 fouls, 4 on the shot clock. Mason, 3. Barford on the curl and off the glass.
Fellas, get that one. And let's analyze that. That is textbook what Mike Anderson preaches to his guys. If you don't get something initially, you run that motion. Barford did a fantastic job on the weak side. He says screen for Daryl Macon. They don't go to Macon. Barford comes on the curl, big, strong, knows how to finish in the lane. Hogs back up 10.
Arkansas with a 10-point lead on number 14 Minnesota. Gafford, Beard, and Barford combining for 33 points so far.
Well, here's that run and execute Mike Anderson talks about. Macon comes underneath. Beard says, no, not so fast. I'm going to wait for my man Barford to then run the baseline. He comes off a Trey Thompson screen. He comes off Adriel Bailey screen and curls. Well, Coach Anderson teaches in his offense, curls, fades, cut hard, screen hard. It's a read and react type offense. I like to call it equal opportunity, because if you know how to come off of a screen, read a screen, you're going to get as many shots as you want. Barford right there understood how to set his screen, come back on the other side and curl. It's just a tough thing to guard for any defense.
Hopefully our commentary has not jumped the shark as of yet. This is a lot of left sharks.
Do you imagine?
Here, that's a remarkable costume choreography today.
How awkward it was when they all showed up and said, "You've got the same thing I have on?" Apparently they didn't talk to each other.
And what we haven't disclosed is you had to then go change. I mean, it was remarkable. 10-point lead here for Minnesota coming out of the timeout. McBrayer, pump fake, 3, too strong. Here comes Arkansas. Next whistle, get a break. Macon had a tough night so far here tonight. Now 0 of 5, 1 of 5, I should say, from the floor. Here's Mason. Boy, he could shoot that off the bounce. Didn't get the roll. That one goes out of bounds off of Minnesota. Another timeout, Arkansas with a 10-point lead. Again, Barford's got 11, Gafford's got 12, but he does have those 3 personal fouls. Back after this. On Monday, the SEC Nation team will have complete breakdown of where SEC teams have landed in each bowl. They call it the most wonderful time of the year. It's coupled with Christmas. How can you disagree? You can also see it live, streaming live on the ESPN app. We would encourage everyone and their brother and sister, mother and father to download that ESPN app. Right now, Minnesota moving the ball around.
They're doing a great job of, in transition, we talk about their bigs a lot, but I'm telling you, Coffey and Mason, they get out, they find, they can finish in the lane, and then, of course, such a great job of reading the defense, understanding curl, fade, when to do it, and how to do it. For Jalen Barford, he's a big, strong guard. Getting in the lane, he can create a lot of problems in there.
Barford working on his game all summer, tried to hit 400 threes a day. In the summer, shot 26% from 3 last year. Those percentages are up. He's working on his game. There you saw him off the curl.
I like how you said he tried to make 400 threes. You know what I mean? I mean, you either
didn't
make
say
400
he made them.
or you can if you try hard enough, shoot enough.
There's a turnover there for Macon and Arkansas.
And despite Daryl Macon not scoring, not giving you as many points as he had to his average, not even close, but he's sitting on 7 assists right now. He's been the chief facilitator.
10 now on the shot clock for Minnesota. Have not gotten the ball inside the 3-point line. Good defense from Arkansas. Got steps.
That's what Adriel Bailey gives you. He gives you a guy from a defensive standpoint that can guard a bigger guy. So now you switch on that high ball screen because he's versatile enough, long enough to guard a guy that can attack the basket, pull up and shoot. So you see right there how he gives you an advantage defensively.
Barford checks out. C.J. Jones is in right now. Jones sitting on 9 points, has hit 3 threes. All coming in the first half.
rifleman. He knows what he's in for.
Daryl Macon has made just one field goal, make it 2
Now, he
field
has a
goals.
shooter's mentality, though, so he's going to continue to attack.
Here's Jeju off the break. Now it's Minnesota running a little bit.
Right back at it, and they can do that. They did it last year when they saw some pressure from the Hogs. Take it right downhill.
Jeju with 6 points, doubling his season total coming into this game.
He's getting those minutes. That'll do it. Scoring opportunities will come with minutes.
Again, Reggie Lynch still on the bench. Bailey misses there. Here comes Minnesota. They've got numbers. 3 on 2. Coffee fouled hard, and he'll go to the line.
We've seen that before from Minnesota. They can get up and down, too. They can play fast and under control. Coffee, again, getting ahead of the defense to finish.
And that foul on Anton Beard, that is his second. Now, they're going to look here and see if this merits a flagrant foul. See if there was a play on the basketball, and requested a look at the monitor, and we will take a look as well.
Yeah, it looks either that or a play on the shooting arm. And you got to do one or the other.
The disadvantage for Beard is that he's kind of flat-footed as he's doing it, and just kind of making a play, it looks like, in the direction of the ball.
At least he hit him on the arm that had the brace on it. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not like taking out the other one. He's protected.
That's one way to look at it, Pat.
He was being gentle.
Look at the one that's protected. That's been previously injured, perhaps. Yes, thank you. As they continue to look at this one again.
But that's really
Pat Adams, our lead official.
Yeah, where you get hit a lot. I mean, I think, you know, reaching out, hitting an elbow, that just trying to disrupt it. We'll learn a lot about the new rules and how they're interpreted from this call right here.
I think going to look at it one more time. Just 2 shots. Just 2 shots. Common foul now on Anton Beard.
I think, you know, what they look to now a lot more is if it's around the shoulders. And that clearly was the, you know, bicep or even the elbow. And I think if maybe it was around the shoulders, they probably could say that it's getting a little too close to the head.
And one of the officials commenting to Anton Beard, hey, just be careful.
Right.
Make a play on the ball. You can kind of see his conversation there, but we've seen worse common fouls, more physical common fouls, even that don't appear to be plays on the ball, than that one.
Sure, and I think they do look at, was it the shoulder? You're pulling on the shoulder because right there is the neck, and then, you know, you get to guys being grabbed by, you know, neck and head area, and that's what you don't want.
So Coffey's got 8. McBrair's going to check out. So Mason is in. Lynch is in as well. And look at Reggie Lynch. Look at the minutes. Look at how they've had to go into the bench. Just 2 points. More fouls than points for Reggie Lynch. We'll see if he can go at least a minute or 2 without picking up another foul. Minnesota fans would love that.
And he's giving you about 5 blocks a game. Okay, he's one of the tops in the nation. So think about Arkansas right now with close to 30 points in the paint the Hogs have had. With Lynch in there, that doesn't happen. He's blocking shots. He's affecting shots.
Lynch has 45 blocks on the season. The 4.5 blocks a game, that is #1 in the nation. I talked to Richard Pitino about that. He said, I don't care about that stat. I want to see him defend the pick and roll. I want to see him rebound. He hasn't been able to do anything sitting on the bench.
That's a good point. He's just a huge body. He takes up so much of the lane.
Thompson dishes it over to Jones, and man, is he on.
Lynch is not going to affect that shot.
His 4th three-pointer of the game. And for C.J. Jones, his 17th 3 in his last 5 games. And this one going the other way, and it's on Lynch.
He's getting the most for his minutes, though, tonight.
It's on Reggie Lynch on the push, and that is foul number 4 on Reggie Lynch. Look at Richard Pitino. He just can't believe it.
That's just one you just throw your hands up. He's a guy that plays physical, and he's done it his whole career. He's also going against, a pretty crafty, wily veteran, Trey Thompson, who understands how to engage a little bit in the paint.
The disbelief from Reggie Lynch, sitting now with four common fouls here, and Murphy on the dunk on the break. Again, even without Lynch, Minnesota has been able to sustain and stay in this game.
They're in striking distance, and on the road, that's all you can ask for.
Murphy went down, and they're calling the block. Boy, it looked like Pat Adams was ready to call the charge.
I mean, I need that on like a viral loop or something to watch him. He was. Look at him in the corner, Pat Adams. He's going to give it to us. Ooh, Trey Thompson taking the hit. There it is. But Trey Thompson did all of his work before he got the ball. He got great position on the block, so when he caught it, all he had to do was 1-2, go right over his left shoulder.
That was Enrico Palazzo there.
I mean, the suspense.
He left
it was like a Hitchcock thriller.
In a parallel universe, he's still about to make the call. Here's Beard. Here's Thompson on the rebound and put back over Murphy.
Trey does a lot for this team. Trey Thompson does a lot, but most of the time it's not in the scoring column. So if he can give you anything, that's just great.
And going into the bench is Richard Pitino, number 42. Michael Hurt, the sophomore, is in. Nice pass to Fitzgerald, who can't get that one to go, and it'll be Arkansas ball. And Richard Pitino is irate at Devontae Fitzgerald, unable to finish on what should have been a bucket.
Well, it is a kid that he talked about earlier today, somebody that he needs to step up. Bringing you off the bench, get your mind right, get your body right, and we need you to make a big play. Had an opportunity there, just couldn't do it, couldn't convert.
8 turnovers now for Minnesota. And again, for Fitzgerald, hasn't played in a couple of years. After the torn ACL, what a spin from Jones. Bailey, I should say. Thompson, no, and we got a foul.
Trey Thompson, the senior, like I said, does a lot for this team. Great rebounder, passer. What else is he doing tonight? He's hitting the glass over Murphy. Strong finish. Trey Thompson improves on their lead.
Welcome back, Arkansas, with an 11-point lead on number 14, Minnesota. And it was another SEC opponent for Minnesota that drew national headlines just a couple of weeks ago. Alabama at Barclays Center finished the game with 3 players because of ejections, because of the bench leaving the bench and getting ejected. They had fouls. They had an injury as well. So Bama finished the game with 3 players. And Minnesota held on for the win. I talked to Richard Pitino about it. He said, you know what, nationally, we're not even getting credit for the win. Right. All people are talking about is the fact that Alabama almost won that game. And he said, honestly, 90% of the folks talking about it didn't see the game, didn't see how we dominated in that game, and the fact that they held the ball for the last 9 minutes of the game just to end the game and wound up taking crazy shots. Colin Sexton goes for 40. And then it looks closer than it was.
Yeah, then it becomes national headlines. But he was right. It was obviously a very high emotional situation with what happened. But then mentally, 5-on-3, I mean, it changes a lot of things when a player's mentality, how they approach it.
Fitzgerald misses that one. We're playing the conventional 5-on-5 here. We expect that to continue for the final 11:36. What a crazy acrobatic shot by Jalen Barford. He's got 13.
He is a bull going downhill when he gets that hip ahead of his shoulder. Just needs a little bit of space to finish acrobatic in the air.
We've got 3 reserve players now on the floor for Minnesota, including Fitzgerald, who has missed 3 shots here in the last couple of minutes. And that will stay Minnesota ball.
So the Razorbacks all out double team on Murphy on that baseline. with Cook and Hall, and that's some length now, double teaming you. And you're going to leave somebody open? Fitzgerald hadn't played much tonight, hadn't showed that he could take advantage of his opportunity.
And it looked like it should be Arkansas ball. Let's look at the shot clock here as well. But
then he's got to shoot over the 6'11" Gafford.
Looked like it went off of Michael Hurt. And I think they're getting together to talk about it. And I think they're making it Arkansas basketball. We'll see here. And here's the shot from Fitzgerald. Not sure if it was tipped there.
There's a tip. There's a maybe touch the rim. We'll have to go to rim cam. It was rim cam. Yes, it hit the rim.
Grazed the rim. Did graze the rim, went out of bounds.
Have you ever seen the top of a rim before? Is it the first? Because I've never seen one.
I have on the cameras that show the top of the rim. If you're looking for a first-person perspective, no. You give me a long selfie stick, I'll take a picture of it and look at it. That's about it.
There it is. Look at. Yeah, I know, huh? It hit the rim? No.
All right, they're saying it did not.
I was wrong.
Pat Adams says, Mr. Bradley, get out of here.
What was I looking at?
You're wrong again.
I thought it hit the rim.
It looked like it did. They're saying it didn't.
You know what? Hey.
Don't you try to override them. You do not have veto power in this seat.
They've never changed the call when I've asked them anyway, so why start now?
Hurt for three. That one rims out with 3 on the shot clock. Here comes Arkansas. Again, a 13-point lead here for the Razorbacks. And they could really blow this one wide open. So much foul trouble for Minnesota. A lot of inexperience on the floor. And that deep Arkansas bench trying to capitalize on it. C.J. Jones. Come on. That is disgusting what C.J. Jones is doing right now. 15 points for C.J. Jones, all coming on 3-point shots.
He's just got the mentality where whenever he is about to catch, he knows I got to get on balance because I'm going to get ready to rise up and shoot this. I love his balance. Shooting is 2 things, how you start and how you finish. He understands the number one thing, get on balance, get my feet set, then rise up high enough. And you see how high he jumps on that jump shot, gives his body enough time to adjust and finishes with a great release.
16-point lead. He's got 15 points, 4 off of his career high. And meanwhile, Gafford reminding us that he's back on the floor.
And he does it with authority, too. Now, on the Minnesota side, they don't have their shot blocker that can do that in Lynch.
They do. He's just on the bench.
That's right. They brought him.
Murphy and Lynch both on the bench for Minnesota.
Nightmare scenario for Coach Pitino.
Coffee can't hit the 3, doesn't give up on it. But here comes Arkansas, and they've got numbers. Barford. Cook. Off the glass.
All he had to do was throw it up there and get it on the rim. He had Hall coming down. He had Gafford was going to clean it up if Hall didn't.
And for Cook, his first 2 points of the season after being reinstated just a week ago in his 2nd game of the year. And Cook on the putback. It's a 12-2 run for the Hogs.
So we talked about just get it up there. Somebody's going to get it. That was Cook. My bad. Hall was right there, and Gafford could have if neither of those guys took care of business.
I need Pat Adams to come over here and override you again.
That's right. Got the wrong.
72-54 here. Arkansas, the calling of the Hogs continues, and for good reason. An 18-point lead here for an Arkansas team that is just looking for consistency. They go out to the PK 80, had a pretty decent tournament. You lose to North Carolina. It was respectable, but a loss in that revenge game. Then they put up 102 on UConn. And then they go to Houston and put up 65 in maybe what might turn out to be their worst performance of the season. And then they go to Nebraska, they go home and beat Colorado State. But now this is one of those asserting wins for Arkansas.
It is. They shot the ball so well previously. The other night against Colorado State. Against Houston, Houston lights out. Couldn't miss. I mean, they had fire in their eyes. They were waiting, and you have a slow start like the Hogs did against Houston. You get down, you spot them essentially 10 points in the first 5 minutes, and you're playing from behind. You know, it was the first true road game, although it wasn't played on campus at Houston, was played down there because of the facility situation. But you knew that they were going to respond. They've shown it all year that they're on a mission. That's what Coach Anderson's been preaching, is unfinished business going back to last year's NCAA tournament.
Arkansas has only been to the line a few times, just 1 of 4 from the free throw line. As Gafford misses that one, but he's going to go to the line as well to continue his terrific day that he has had so far. But Arkansas going to the line for the first time here in the second half.
It's been a while since Arkansas has been able to, and they've had some good ones. Bobby Portis was a guy where you could throw it to him on the block, and you could trust him to say, Bobby, get us something here. Okay, get us to the free throw line, or get us a layup or a dunk. Gafford's that kind of guy. As young as he is, you see how they trust him to throw it to him on the block. I didn't know how soon he would get there. You knew at some point he would be. He's not offensively where Bobby Portis was at this time, but he does a lot of other things that Bobby didn't have when he was having a mighty fine year, Bobby Portis, by the way.
Bulls, yeah. And Murphy picking up his 4th as he kind of hobbles to the bench. Back to Gafford, who does wear number 10. He started wearing number 10 in high school because of Bobby Portis. They exchanged text messages as well. There have been some great number 10s to play. C.J. Jones sits down, who's having a terrific day as well. Some great number 10s to play for Arkansas. Ron Brewer, one of the triplets back in the 78 season, the Final Four team. Todd Day, school's all-time leading scorer. Nearly 2,400 points. Ronnie Brewer, son of Ron. Bobby Portis, again, SEC Player of the Year as a sophomore. A lot of pressure when you wear that number. Gafford said he wanted to come in, make a name for himself. He's living up to that number 10 jersey.
I'd like to see him wear that number 10 jersey for many years to come. 3 years, hopefully. And it is, you look at that, that's royalty. Razorback royalty right there with that number 10 jersey.
It's a foul on Cook. And Minnesota in the bonus, but continues to struggle from the line. They're 16 of 26 from the free throw line, and this is not what you want to see. Daniel Gafford is down, clutching his knee. Mike Anderson was on the bench, giving a very cautious look. Watch how he lands here. With that left knee tucked behind him as he fell.
You know, I was talking to the athletic trainer at shoot-around. I said, how, Gafford's durability you've got to be impressed with it because he plays so hard. And he plays a lot more physical than people thought he would from high school this early in his freshman year.
Put on about 18 pounds since he got to campus in June. He's a thick guy, wanted to be able to withstand games like this, and he's done it. Again, 6 of 6 from the floor as making shooting night woes continue. One of the only things going wrong for Arkansas here tonight. Again, big foul trouble for Minnesota. Lack of a deep bench showing itself for the Gophers, and a nice block there from Jeju. And here's Minnesota off and running. There's Coffee, and there's their first bucket in over 4 minutes from Minnesota.
Good timeout by Coach A. Darius Hall's an exciting young player, but you saw on that curl, he's got to be able. And the speed, I don't know, sometimes maybe get to him, but he's got to be stronger with the ball. Catch that with 2 hands, 1 power dribble, go up and finish over the big.
And a 14-point lead here for Arkansas. Coming up next, check in on Coach Anderson's old stomping ground. Take you to Columbia for Missouri taking on Green Bay. It's right here on SEC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app. Hazel Martin, of course, without Michael Porter Jr., another star freshman. Again, with that injury that he's dealing with, and you hope to see the #2 freshman coming in, high school prospect, and Missouri without theirs, but thankfully Arkansas, you hope that injury nothing serious. It doesn't appear to be, as Gafford continues to sit now on the bench for Arkansas.
Well, the big guy like that goes after everything. He's trying to block every shot. He's trying to get every rebound. He's trying to dunk on anybody who's in the vicinity. I mean, I think he tried to dunk on one of the sharks that is sitting underneath the rim over there. So he's going to get banged up a little bit. You know, it's about his mentality, though, to get back up, take care of business. But if he stays strong, limber, and the rest, he'll be fine.
Corner three. Off no good for Barford. And a key moment here for Minnesota if they're going to get back in this game. Down 14, less than 8.5 to go, and another turnover.
Well, Nate Mason normally is throwing that to Murphy or Lynch, and that's a catch, probably dunk on somebody's head.
Jeju again. Doesn't normally play this many minutes. Going to have a blocking foul. This, I believe, is on Jeju. Orlando Cook going to go to the line.
Arkansas got up the floor quick on that dead ball from out of bounds baseline on one end of the floor.
That is Jeju's third foul, and Richard Pitino has no choice. But look, if we're all in foul trouble, I'll put in my best players.
Yeah, might as well. Roll with them.
Reggie Lynch, Jordan Murphy coming back into this game. And again, for Murphy, has had a double-double in every game so far this season. #3 at the bottom of your screen. And right now he's got 16 points and 8 rebounds. A couple of rebounds shy of his 11th consecutive double-double to start the season. Coffey, nice dish to Lynch, but it got tipped. Nice deflection there by Cook. Barford again from the corner. He's not going to miss too many of those.
Now, well, the difference there is got his feet set, great balance. How about the swing pass from Macon to Beard to Barford, 3 senior guards working together.
16 for Barford, and Arkansas has its biggest lead of the day. They're up 19 here at home. First sellout at home in 3 years for Arkansas. And a foul and some free throws coming up for Reggie Lynch. All Razorbacks up 19 at Bud Walton Arena. Welcome back. Let's take a look at today's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate. And Arkansas forcing 10 turnovers. Barford getting it started here.
Barford does a great job getting his hand in there, deflection, and then when you run in the lanes, Orlando Cook back just for a second game, able to get that tip. Look at his head up, head up. Which way am I going to go? I'll take it myself. Cook's there, Hall's there. If they don't get it, Gafford's there. That's that activity on the glass the Hogs have been waiting for.
21 assists on 33 made baskets for Arkansas. That is a recipe for a big win.
I look at this stat sheet, and one other thing just is staring at me, glaring. Minnesota 1 block. Minnesota 1 block. And you just can't help but think the huge effect it had with Lynch getting in early foul trouble.
And you look at that upcoming schedule, Arkansas gets a win today. They got a great chance of being 11-2 going into SEC play. They've done that 3 of the last 4 years. And that'd be a great position to be in as they begin conference play. Got Tennessee coming up at the end of the month.
Tennessee sneaking into that top 25. Got a chance to see a lot of Tennessee last year. Very young team.
Rick Barnes getting it done.
He gets them playing like some wild balls. I mean, they'll come after it.
Jordan Murphy with point number 17 in the game. Again, 8 rebounds, 2 rebounds shy of a double-double. And misses that one. Here comes Arkansas again. Now an 18-point lead for the Razorbacks. Less than 7.5 minutes to go.
And the Hogs with 40 points in the paint. And you know that has to do with the foul trouble of those bigs. Not being there, not having that paint presence defensively.
And nice play there by Mason to get that loose ball. Here comes Coffey and harm. That's what Minnesota's going to need to try and get back in this game. Coffey with 12. And he'll go to the line.
Well, when the three-point line is still there and the old-fashioned three is still there, you get some turnovers, get your hands on some basketballs there, start running, get things going. This could change quickly now. Minnesota, although with all that foul trouble, they got their guys on the floor now. They got that starting group on the floor that you know is about as good as any five in America.
Going to live or die with this starting five. You might as well with that big deficit. Barford, though, continues to have an outstanding game. He's got 18 to lead all scorers.
Now Lynch probably would have won after that one if he didn't have 4 fouls.
And it looks like a foul going to be called on Thompson on the push. We'll check this one out again. We're going to be shocked to hear that fans don't like the call. He did throw it off of Thompson anyway, but they do call a foul.
I think Coach Anderson. Oh,
there it is. There it is.
At least somebody. Come on, fold it up. Nice. I think they might have got him. He got his left forearm, I think, on Mason's hip, possibly.
Might need some forensic analysis.
Well, Coach A was right there. He's 2 feet away, though. I mean,
they should allow him to make the call. It's a 16-point lead here for Arkansas. Make it 15. Now with 6:45 to go. Again, Minnesota's starting five here on the floor. You got some foul trouble. Again, Lynch has 4. Murphy's got 4. And now McBrayer's got 1.
The other part of that equal opportunity offense with Mike Anderson is everybody is moving, screening, coming off screens, attacking. So from a defensive standpoint, if you're a guard, you've got to be able to play multiple defensive sets when you get caught in situations that you're not used to playing.
Arkansas, next foul against Minnesota. They'll be in the double bonus. That the 1-and-1. Macon misses the front end. And a bucket here could make things very interesting. A 15-point margin. Here's Murphy. Taking Thompson. Rejected by Thompson. Here comes Barford. Beard for 3. Murphy almost got his 9th rebound of the game, but it goes out of bounds. It belonged to Arkansas. Murphy just amongst the trees, but Thompson was right there.
Yeah, Thompson's a smart player, very high IQ guy. He's not going to wow you athletically, but what he understands is Murphy in his moves and where he likes it and how he's going to turn and spin. Just great timing, studying some film on Murphy by Thompson, rewarded with the block and started the break.
4 players in double figures for Arkansas, including Beard, who's got 10. And we're just going to have a foul just about every whistle now. It was a pretty clean first half for the most part, but now we got both teams in the double bonus.
McBrayer is struggling, figuring out how to stay with Macon coming off screens. And Macon is about as good as you want anybody coming off screens around and just keeps you moving. And it's tough try to stay with somebody who's coming moving so much.
Macon not making much tonight. 2 of 9 from the floor, 0 of 5 from 3.
But he knows how to get to the free throw line. He's a great facilitator offensively. He's going to get his guys involved, and he's defended Mason most of the game, especially in the second half.
And 7 assists. I mean, it's a little thing.
Yeah. That's what you expect from a senior, a guy that wants to get deep into the tournament.
Lynch inside. That one rims out, and foul on Thompson, and Lynch will go to the line for 2. That's 4 fouls now on Thompson. So things starting to even out, and a great sign for Arkansas. as the season flashed before their eyes moments ago when Gafford went down. Gafford, this true freshman phenom, is now going to check in. Gafford 6 of 6 from the floor. He's got 12 points.
Lando Cook comes out, gives good minutes. I was wondering how long Gafford would be on the sideline. You don't want anything to tighten up. Is that still how they think when you get an injury?
I mean, it sounds good. I think if you say it enough, it's true.
You don't want to tighten. Yeah, you hurt yourself. We'll get back out there. You don't want to tighten up.
Stretching can only do so much. You need some strenuous physical activity. Like I saw you do pregame today.
Oh, I was working.
You're heaving up those three-point shots. Still got it. Macon, nice hesitation, but a nice strip there from Lynch. Here's Mason, transition three, a little too strong. Murphy, his 9th rebound, and gets the foul on Gafford. Gafford was not straight up and down.
Got caught, and again, Murphy getting great position before the shot. Mason recognizing that. Another pull-up three from Mason, can make those. Need all 5 guys, though. Need all 5 guys rebounding for Arkansas. If you're Minnesota, you just continue to chip away.
$15-point margin now for Arkansas. So 4 fouls for Murphy, 4 for Lynch, but also 4 for Gafford at last check. 4 for Thompson as well. Here's Gafford. Nice strip there, but unable to get that ball out to Mason. Goes out of bounds, and it will stay.
That's the next part of the young fella's moves. The second time he got stripped going to that middle. Understanding how to protect it, keep it close to your body until you can get it up high over the rim.
5 minutes to go, 15-point lead here for Arkansas. Macon sizing it up, burying it.
Big shots when you need it.
His first made 3-point shot of the day. He'd missed his first 5. He's got 9 points. And Arkansas back up to an 18-point lead. Coffee rejected by Gafford. Here's the freshman, rejected by the freshman Gafford.
I guess they didn't get the message the first time.
Gafford with 2 blocks in the last 10 seconds.
Active, great anticipation, great length, gets off the floor quickly. Everything you need to be a great shot blocker, the kid's got.
8 block shots for Arkansas in this game. Mason, too strong as the shot clock was winding down. Barford, head of steam. There's a block from Lynch. And here's Coffey at the other end.
Easiest 2 he's going to get all season.
16-point lead.
Barford knew there's 4 fouls on Lynch. I'm going to go right at him. Not getting the calls, though. Last few possessions.
Seven on the shot clock. Macon gets a screen from Gafford. Macon. Look, that might have been tipped. Murphy collects. Mason driving hard, and will they call that a goaltend? Richard Pitino wants it. I don't think they're going to get it on that block from Gafford. The block will not count. Foul before that will go to the line. Richard Pitino's team's got some making up to do. $16-point lead here for Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena as they go for their 8th straight win here at home. If Minnesota's going to come back, they need some more of this.
Well, they can get up in the floor, up and down the floor with the best of them. You see right there, sprinting down the floor. Miscommunication by the Hogs. Don't get back and protect the basket. But what I love here, Mason always got his eyes up ahead. Coffey He's done this multiple times, beat the defense down the floor, and he can finish with anybody in transition.
Anton Beer did pick up the foul, so we'll have some foul shots coming up. Again, both teams in the double bonus. 45 personal fouls have been called in this game. Makes for good flow in a basketball game, I found.
Wonderful. How about 35 free throws for Minnesota? Woo! I mean, that's like, they need to start paying rent on the free throw line at Bud Walton Arena. They've been there for so long.
Well,
buy a piece of real estate out there.
Make the payments or not, they're going to get evicted after 3.5 minutes.
Yes.
There's Mason at the free throw line. Well, Murphy and Lynch each have 4 fouls. Gafford has 4. Thompson has 4 for Arkansas. Pat Bradley has 4 fouls as well.
I know. I've been a little handsy, too physical over here.
Less than 3.5 to go. 14-point lead is, my math is typically incorrect, for Arkansas.
And this is something where the Hogs offense, that motion offense, it can do 2 things. It does take time off the clock and it wears down the defense. Right about now, you may see a high screen.
3 seconds. Big shot.
Exactly what they wanted to do, be able to wear that defense down under 10 seconds. Barford takes that Gafford screen, get in the lane.
Lane from Washington.
See, he knows how, he's a New York City kid. He knows how to finish amongst the trees.
Beard to Gafford, and his big day continues. That's 14 for Gafford with 7 boards.
Minnesota trying to put that pressure on in the backcourt. A little over-aggressive, left that open.
Coffey, boy, he can move. Gets to the rim, though. Can't pull that one down. Here's Arkansas. 16-point lead, 2 minutes and change to go, and they're going to run some clock, or we thought so.
And you fail it. Get in rhythm. He's trying to get his back to at least close to his points per game average.
You got to get ready for Troy coming up.
That's right.
Got to get into a rhythm. 19-point lead.
It's going to be a homecoming for him. They'll play that game down in central Arkansas, Little Rock area, North Little Rock to be exact.
As fans begin to file out here with a 19-point lead. Minnesota doesn't appear like they're going to give up 100, although we still have a minute and a half to go. They have not given up 100 points in a game since 1988, as Murphy puts that one home. And if you're wondering, Jordan Murphy does have a double-double in this game. 18 points, 10 rebounds.
Well, that's right on his average, really. I think he's about 19 and 12 on the season.
Michael Beasley, longest streak to open up a season since Michael Beasley back in the 07-08 season with Kansas State, when he began the season with 12. I asked Richard Pitino, said, do you ever look at the score sheet afterwards and go, I wonder if he got the double-double? What do you think he said?
No chance. No chance. No chance.
I call that the death stare through the phone. How dare you ask that question? I want to win. I don't care what it is, win. But it's fun to see, fun to talk about. And Jordan Murphy, again, getting some early player of the year consideration, although we're only 10 games in. And that's what Richard Pitino said. Look, we've only played 10 games.
There's no question.
But huge game here for Arkansas. And either team was going to pick up a top 50 win, which is so critical when you get to the postseason. And right now, a nice one it looks like for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, this was, you didn't need it, certainly wanted it, and certainly helps. And this is a very, very good Minnesota team. Their 5 that they start are as good as any in the country. The question's going to be developing that depth in that bench. They have Everett Curry is would-be sophomore this year, injured, so their glue guy coming off the bench would have answered a lot of their questions. But they'll be there, trust me, come March.
You mentioned Eric Curry, kind of a homecoming for him. Spent his last 2 years at Southwest Christian. high school, just a short drive away, and was looking forward to playing in this game. He travels with the team. He's here.
You said he's got his mother and little sister here.
Yeah, he tore up his knee in a pickup game in the preseason. He was going to be their first post player off the bench. Such a critical, and boy, could they have used him in a game like this with all this foul trouble.
Especially what he does. He fixes a lot of things on offense, fixes on defense. Those guys, maybe what they do don't show up in the stat sheet, but certainly what they can do on the floor, it just makes everybody better.
And there you see Curry. Again, injured in a pickup game in the preseason.
Spirits are still high, though.
Yeah, talked to him a little bit. This is eating him up, not being able to play, but he's getting accustomed to not playing, unfortunately. Barford's got 22, by the way. Washington no good. Lynch with the tip. And we mentioned Jordan Murphy and all of the double-doubles he has. How about this? He's got 11 double-doubles to start the season. Arkansas does not have a player on its roster with a career double-double.
Where's Gafford? Gafford's not close.
He's getting there.
He's getting there.
7 rebounds, 14 points, 5 blocks. That's a career high for Gafford as well.
You know, Moses Kingsley last year was the walking double-double.
Gafford throwing that one home.
He could have told us what it looks like above the rim right there. See, he could have told us there was some paint chips, orange paint chips missing from the rim.
He's got 20 dunks now on the season. 5 points away from 100. And how about block number 6? Give him an assist. Does he get an assist for that?
He should. I mean, that was just, he could have blocked that with his chest. I mean, come on. He's going to catch one this year. Trust me when I tell you. See how he just blocked that one back to the three-point line? By the time this year is over, he will catch one in midair. 2 dribbles, dunk from the free throw line. There you go, I said it.
Amazing. You did it. I believe you. Gafford finishes with 16, with 6 blocks, 7 boards. Barford with 22. 5 players in double figures. And Arkansas with this 95-79 win, but it's not official yet. 1.3 seconds to go as the chance of SEC rain down from Bud Walton Arena. What a big win for the Razorbacks. 95-79. Pat, big win for the Razorbacks again with a chance to start the season 11-2 if they keep on winning heading into conference play.
They came out with a mission. They had a mission to attack. They shot the ball well from the jump. Gafford started the game, had his best game, rose to the challenge of competing against those bigs at Minnesota.
Our thanks to everyone who helped out. Dan Riesick, Minnesota Sports Information, helped us out. Wife, 8.5 months pregnant. Good luck.
All right.
With all that. In Arkansas, David Beal, SID as well. Had a baby girl 2 weeks ago, Parker Grace. Congratulations on that. Thanks to Drew for helping us out, our production crew as well. We head back to the studio with Peter Burns, also a new dad. Hey,